5 car brands that changed the industry and 5 that just copied them. Did you know that the original Ford Model T was so cheap that by today's standards it would cost less than $5 grand? And the entire car was assembled in 93 minutes? Back then, Ford didn't just build cars. They built the playbook for how the entire auto industry would operate for the next century. Like Ford, some car makers are architects of change. They take risks, redefine what a car can be, while others peek over the fence, take notes, and play it safe. You're about to learn the 5 car brands that genuinely changed the industry. And we're also calling out 5 brands that just followed the blueprint and cashed in. Trust me, the last copycat on this list might just surprise you. Let's get into it. Ford. In 1908, before Ford, owning a car was like owning a private jet. It was something reserved for the ultra-rich. But Henry Ford didn't want to build a luxury product. He wanted to build a tool for the everyday worker. And with the Model T, he didn't just make a car, he created an institution. It was rugged, simple, and reliable. But the real genius wasn't just the car, it was how he made it. The moving assembly line, introduced in 1913, slashed production time per vehicle from over 12 hours down to just 90 minutes. That wasn't just efficiency, it was a manufacturing revolution that trickled into every industry, from airplanes to refrigerators. More importantly, it allowed Ford to cut prices from $850 to $260, turning the Model T into a mass-market juggernaut. By 1927, Ford had sold over 15 million of them. Ford didn't just put America on wheels. He reshaped labor, industry, and economics around the idea that a car should be affordable to the very people building it. That idea would ripple across the globe, and to this day, mass production and assembly line logic define how vehicles are made. Ford defined industrial innovation, which in part led to the next innovative leader on the list, Toyota. Fast forward a few decades and another revolution was brewing, not in Detroit, but in Japan. In post-war Japan, resources were limited and efficiency wasn't a luxury, it was survival. This is where Toyota came in, with a groundbreaking idea: build better cars by building smarter factories. The result was the Toyota production system, which championed concepts like just-in-time manufacturing, continuous improvement, and waste elimination. They didn't hoard parts, they ordered exactly what they needed exactly when they needed it. This lean approach spread like wildfire across industries and remains a gold standard for manufacturing worldwide. Then came the Toyota Prius in 1997, the world's first mass-produced hybrid car. At the time, hybrids were uncharted territory, but Toyota believed in a future where fuel efficiency and sustainability mattered. The Prius became a symbol of environmental awareness and proved that the future of cars wasn't just about horsepower, it was about how intelligently a car could move. Toyota didn't just build efficient vehicles, they built an efficient philosophy that forever changed how the automotive world operates: Tesla. While Ford made cars mainstream and Toyota made them efficient, Tesla flipped the entire playbook and asked, what if your car was more like your smartphone? When the Model S launched in 2012, people weren't just shocked by the range or the acceleration. They were blown away by the fact that the car could receive over-the-air software updates, just like your iPhone. Tesla's innovation wasn't just in batteries or range, it was in the concept of the software-defined car. Your Tesla could get smarter, safer, and faster while parked in your garage. And suddenly, other automakers had to catch up, not just in hardware, but in tech. The company also forced the public to take electric cars seriously. No more golf carts or compliance cars. This was a luxury rocket ship with a touchscreen that controlled everything. Autopilot features, minimalist interiors, ludicrous speed modes. It was everything the old guard said wouldn't work, and it did. Tesla didn't just disrupt, they embarrassed the competition. Now, nearly every major automaker is chasing their lead, building out EV platforms and scrambling to roll out OTA features. Love or hate Elon, there's no denying the fact that Tesla changed what we expect a car to be. Volkswagen. Volkswagen might not be flashy, but when it comes to smart, scalable engineering, they're surgical. Let's start with the Beetle, one of the most iconic cars in history. It was simple, reliable, and designed to be the people's car. It became a global success, sold in over 150 countries, and helped establish VW as a worldwide powerhouse. But their real masterstroke came decades later with the MQB platform, a revolutionary modular architecture that allowed them to build multiple different models, from compact hatchbacks to large crossovers, on the same basic chassis. One toolkit, dozens of cars. That move wasn't just about cutting costs, it was about speed, scalability, and consistency. Need to launch a new Golf, a Passat, an Audi A3, and a Skoda Octavia? No problem, they all share the same bones. That kind of platform sharing now dominates the industry. Toyota does it, GM does it, but VW made it an art form. Volkswagen didn't just innovate once, they created a scalable foundation that still defines their production strategy today. Hyundai/Kia. If you told someone in the late 90s that Hyundai and Kia would be leading EV design and competing with BMW, they'd probably laugh in your face. Back then, these brands were the definition of budget badge engineering. But in the last 15 years, they've staged one of the greatest glow-ups in automotive history. How? By betting big on design, technology, and performance. The Hyundai Ioniq 5 and Kia EV6 aren't just cool-looking EVs. They're built on the eGMP platform, which was designed from the ground up for electric powertrains. That means better weight distribution, faster charging, longer range, and flat floors for wild interior layouts. Then came Genesis, Hyundai's luxury sub-brand. Within a few years, Genesis was winning awards left and right, competing with Audi, Lexus, and even Mercedes in design and refinement. They stopped copying and started leading, with bold styling, sharp performance, and an EV roadmap that's turning heads globally. Hyundai and Kia didn't just catch up, they overtook many longtime players, and they did it with confidence, innovation, and style. Honorable mentions. Before we dive into the copycats, there are a few brands that deserve credit. These ones didn't quite make the top 5, but they had real moments of brilliance. Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes didn't just help invent the car, they've been setting the standard for luxury and safety ever since. From anti-lock brakes to pre-collision systems, a lot of tech we take for granted today showed up in a Mercedes first. If innovation had a royal family, Mercedes would be sitting on the throne. Honda. Quietly brilliant, Honda's CVCC engine in the 70s met emissions regulations without a catalytic converter, unheard of at the time. Add in bikes, F1 dominance, and compact cars that punched way above their weight, and you've got a brand that never shouts but always delivers. Chrysler. In the 80s, Chrysler looked around and said, why don't we build a car that's basically a box on wheels? For families? Boom, the minivan was born. It may not be sexy, but it redefined how Americans hauled kids, groceries, and soccer balls for decades. General Motors. Believe it or not, GM had the EV1 back in the 90s. Fully electric, years ahead of its time. Then they pulled the plug, literally. Still, you've got to respect how early they were. They also gave us OnStar, one of the first telematic systems in cars. Buick. Yep, Buick. Early pioneers and sound-deadening tech that made their rides whisper quiet. Before Lexus showed up, Buick was already mastering the art of smooth, comfortable cruising. Quietly innovative in the most literal way. Now for the flip side, the copycats. These are the car makers who played it safe, followed trends instead of setting them, and let others take the big swings. Here are 5 brands that just copied the innovators. Mazda. Let's start with Mazda because they're the most frustrating kind of copycat, the kind that could have been a leader. Mazda has had flashes of brilliance, the rotary engine in the RX-7, the Miata bringing lightweight roadsters back from the dead, and that signature zoom driving feel that car nerds love. But the problem? It's all in bursts. Mazda never capitalized on their momentum. While Toyota and Honda were building global platforms, Mazda was stuck chasing niche markets. And when it came to electrification, hybrids, or even infotainment tech, Mazda lagged badly. Their first proper EV, the MX, with less than 100 miles of range in 2021. That's not innovative, that's embarrassing. They have the engineering chops and design language to lead, but year after year they've chosen to follow instead. Subaru. Now, Subaru fans, don't come for me just yet. I get it. Symmetrical all-wheel drive, boxer engines, and rugged go-anywhere vibes. That's the Subaru DNA. But let's be honest, once you strip away the quirkiness, Subaru has been stuck on repeat for over a decade. Where's the innovation? Their interiors have been behind the times, infotainment has felt dated, and while the rest of the industry rushed into hybrids and EVs, Subaru hesitated. Their first real attempt at an EV, the Solterra, was basically a Toyota bZ4X in a different outfit. Same battery, same range, same platform. That's not pioneering, that's piggybacking. Subaru built a loyal audience by sticking to what works, but when it comes to pushing the industry forward, they barely moved. BMW and Mercedes-Benz. It might sound shocking to lump these two titans of German engineering into the copycat pile, but here's the cold truth. They've been coasting. Let's start with BMW. In the early 2010s, they took a bold step with the i3 and i8, lightweight, futuristic, electric-focused cars. It looked like the beginning of something big, and then nothing. For nearly a decade, BMW sat on its hands while Tesla ate their lunch. When they finally returned to EVs, the result was the iX, a solid performer, but more of a response to Tesla and Audi than a category definer. And Mercedes-Benz? Same story. After decades of leading in safety and comfort, their entry into the EV market felt cautious, safe, like they were trying to repackage the S-Class experience in an EV wrapper, but without changing the game. OTA updates? Tesla beat them to it. Dedicated EV platforms? Came late to that too. These brands were once known for setting the standard. Lately, they've been following it. Chevrolet. Remember the Chevy Volt? That thing was ahead of its time. A plug-in hybrid that could run on electricity for short trips, then switch to gas when needed. It should have been the gateway to GM's EV future. Instead, it became a dead end. Then came the Chevy Bolt, a decent little EV with great range for the price. But GM never built a strong ecosystem around it. No dedicated fast charging network. No real push to integrate it into a bold EV identity. Meanwhile, Tesla was building superchargers, pushing software boundaries, and turning their cars into status symbols. And while GM as a whole is now making aggressive moves with Ultium batteries and the Hummer EV, Chevy as a brand still feels reactionary. They're not leading, they're catching up. And given the head start they had, that's a massive missed opportunity. Nissan, after the Leaf. Of all the copycats we've talked about so far, Nissan is the most annoying. In 2010, Nissan made history with the Leaf, the first mass-market electric car. It was affordable, practical, and years ahead of the competition. For a moment, Nissan looked like the bold new face of EV innovation. Then they hit the brakes. While other companies iterated, improved range, developed better battery cooling, or integrated smart software, Nissan just let the Leaf sit. Minimal updates, the same basic design, and a slow response to shifting market. They had the lead, and they let it slip away. Today, brands that weren't even in the EV game back then, like Hyundai, Kia, even Ford, are running laps around Nissan. Their area crossover came years too late and didn't offer anything groundbreaking. Nissan proved they had the guts to lead, but they didn't have the follow-through. Being an innovator in the car world is a gamble. It means pouring billions into tech that might flop. It means pushing customers to accept new ideas before they're ready. It means risk, but it's the only way the industry moves forward. Ford took the risk. Toyota turned it into a system. Tesla made it attractive. VW made it scalable. Hyundai and Kia made it stylish. And while not every copycat brand is a failure, they remind us that playing it safe might keep you in the game, but it won't change it. So now it's your turn. Which brand do you think changed the industry the most? And who do you think has been coasting for far too long? Drop your picks in the comments and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, because the future of cars, it's being written right now.